Why is saving money so difficult? Or, to put it another way, why does it seem like saving money is so challenging? It's a question that I think a lot of people have. This was also a question I asked myself when I began my quest for a high savings rate. My first year of attempting to save money was sluggish and challenging, but in retrospect, many of the obstacles were my own fault, and a more sobering look into American saving practices reveals the following. Number 1, most Americans would find it difficult to raise $1,000 in an emergency, according to the AP-NORC Center for Public Affairs Research. Number 2, only 5% of the typical American's disposable income is set aside for savings. Number 3, over a quarter of all Americans do not save anything, and those who do save are not saving much. Hey everyone, this is Capital Finance, and in this video, we will discuss if it's possible to become a millionaire with just $5 a day. But first, let's ask, why is it so difficult to save money? Number 1, rising expenses. Housing, school, medical, and childcare costs continue to rise, but wages aren't keeping up with them. Although you may disagree, this is a fact that cannot be ignored. If you compare millennial earnings to median salaries, they are lower than those earned by Generation X or baby boomer workers at the start of their careers. Number 2, unnecessary debt. Debt is a major issue in our society right now, and it will continue to be so. As a result, it's a major impediment to conserving money. Between rising student loan fees and mounting credit card debt, saving money tends to fall by the wayside. When you have a large debt and high interest rate, saving becomes a non-priority. Number 3, having a low income. As I previously stated, wages are not increasing at the same rate as other living expenses. This makes saving money tough. While this may be the case, you can still increase your income. This means that you'll have to put in some effort in order to boost your income. Changing occupations, beginning a side business, or investing in some generating assets can all be part of this strategy. Not everything you do will help you become wealthy. But even if you don't, you may start saving money and break out of the not saving purgatory. You must find out how to make extra money. However, saving money isn't the way to become a millionaire. It's an outdated financial concept that a lot of people still believe in. So now, let's talk about the real deal. If you're ready, like this video and let's begin. The most common piece of financial advice is to save as much money as possible, or put money away for an emergency. Sadly, this is a bad piece of advice. Every dollar saved today will be worth less in the future. Let's say you work hard and put up $1 million for your golden years. This means that if we're talking about 20 or 30 years, that $1 million isn't going to be worth $1 million, but rather significantly less as the price of goods and services has risen steadily throughout the years. As a result, the real worth of your money is likely to be reduced by a third or half over the course of 20 years. There's nothing wrong with retiring with $1 million right now, but in 20 or 30 years, that won't be the case. It is imperative that your savings increase at least 2 or 3% a year in the United States to keep their real worth. Since the Federal Reserve sets an inflation target of 2 to 3%, isn't a savings account the best option? If you store your money in a bank, the bank will give you interest, and if an emergency arises, you will be able to take your money out. For your convenience, we'll take a look at how much interest you may expect from banks. Even with the Fed's interest rate cut last year, you're still nowhere near 1%. Let's say for the sake of argument that you can earn 1% on your savings. Even with a 2% annual inflation rate, you are still losing money. If you don't keep it beneath your mattress, you'll lose more. But it won't be nearly as much. So, what should you do in this situation? The sole reason to save money is to have a second source of income. Consider investing in real estate instead of trying to save $1 million. The price of a property doesn't grow as much as inflation, but at least it keeps pace. The most intriguing thing is that, provided it's not a mortgage, they supply you with a steady passive income of 6.7 or 8%. Your rental revenue will keep growing as a result of inflation, so you don't have to worry about it. So, is it possible to become a billionaire on $5 a day? It seems like a bad idea at first. A Starbucks coffee costs $5. For example, if you cut back on your Starbucks latte and brew your own coffee and hope to save $5 a day, that's $150 in savings a month. You won't be able to afford a comfortable retirement with this amount of money. Think about it. $5 every day is $150 per month, or $1,825 per year. Most of you are between the ages of 18 and 35. So let's assume you're 24 years old and want to retire at the age of 67. You'll save $77,000 over the course of 43 years if you put aside only $5 a day. Maybe it's not so amazing after all, right? When you take into account the fact that $77,000 will be worth a lot less in 43 years than it is now, spending $5 on a Starbucks coffee, on the other hand, seems like a better idea. The S&P 500, for example, increases at an average rate of 10% in the long term. So if you save those $5 and put them in the stock market, they will grow to over $1 million in the same time period. That's all you can accomplish with just $5. Imagine what you could do if you had more than that. Is it possible to make $1 million a year with just $5 a day? Yes, in theory, although it's going to take some time. The goal is achievable. What's the point of being a billionaire at the age of 67 anyway, since most of us want to live life to the fullest today? The purpose of this video is to teach you how you may generate wealth even with little sums of money if you continuously invest and plan for the long run. To develop wealth, you just need to set aside a little percentage of your salary each month, even if you spend it on your daily Starbucks coffee, annual vacations, and a new iPhone. It will take longer though if you don't cut back on needless purchases and increase your savings. It goes without saying that starting a business, investing at least 50% of your income, or seizing a wonderful chance are the fastest ways to accumulate money. Just remember to be ready for the chance when it comes your way. To reap the benefits of compound interest, investors typically put $3,000 a month into the S&P 500, regardless of whether the market is rising or declining. At the same time, they're expanding their businesses and searching for the next big opportunity. It's difficult for most individuals to understand why they should save. When they look at their salary, even if they have $1,500 a month, that's $18,000 a year, which equates to $180,000 in 10 years and $360,000 in 20 years. If they're lucky, they'll have a few years of use out of it. For this reason, do the math before you start saving. Suppose you're 20 years old and make $1,000 a monthly investment in the SP 500. If your investment reaches $1 million by the time you're 44, you'll be able to sell your shares and invest in a large number of homes that will provide monthly rental income for you. Alternatively, you may take out a certain proportion of your investment each year, such as 5%, which equates to $50,000 each year, and use that money to pay your expenditures while your investment continues to grow at an average annual return of 10%. $5 a day is probably just a small amount for you. So, how much do you think you can save per day? And what is your savings goal? Share your answers in the comment section below. I hope you had learned a lot from this video. If you like this episode, make sure to subscribe to Capital Finance, and see you next time!